following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WZWA Network and our review show here of the 2022 WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I'm your host, Karlifornia, alongside my co-host here, Jooseyboy. What is going on, you hungover sack of shit?
Hello! Hungover sack of shit doesn't even begin to describe it, man. But today was the Royal Rumble, one of the big four, one of the main stops on the road to WrestleMania, as they say. I'd like to remind everybody, just before we get into this review quickly, that the only way to be eliminated from the Royal Rumble is to be thrown over the top rope.
Oh.
Not through the ropes or under the bottom one. Thrown over the top rope, and both feet must hit the floor. Okay?
Of course. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for letting me know, bro. I after all the 30 plus years, I still wasn't quite sure about the rules. But we're both a little bit hungover. We went to a friend's birthday last night, but it's okay. The Royal Rumble was here. We're always excited for the Rumble. It's always a cherished show throughout anyone's wrestling fandom. And I'm going to start things off here, bro. I'm going to start things off by talking about the opening match on this show. Roman Reigns defending the WWE Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. Going into this, bro, I was kind of like, I've seen this match. I feel like I've seen it like 10 times now. But they managed to hook me. I managed to get quite into this one. So I was thrilled with the opening of the show. First and foremost, in my notes here, the filters that come up when people are making their entrances, they've got to go. I hate them. I think they're tacky. I don't think they look good at all.
It's too busy.
Yeah, it is, bro. And I must admit, I did like Rollins coming out doing the Shield thing. I thought that was a good idea as far as the mind games are concerned. Michael Cole made a comment saying perhaps the greatest group in WWE history, mate, not even in the top 10. Just going to say that. I don't care. Love the spot with the commentators table and the Shield power bomb through there. I have to say, I love a good power bomb, bro. And there were several delivered in this one that were fantastic. They got me with the curb stomp. There was a buckle bomb into a curb stomp, and I thought to myself, shit, like I thought that was actually going to be over. When I look at it now, that doesn't make any sense for Rollins to somehow beat Reigns that quickly. But also love the pedigree reversal of the spear. And I thought to myself, this is a match, bro. This is a match because this has suspense. Okay, like I know Reigns isn't going to lose the title, but damn, they did something in this match that hooked me that made me kind of forget about that. And so this is the difference when you have good agents coming up with good ways of a story of a match to be told and heading to the finish. So whoever agented that match, props to them. Was surprised by the finish with the disqualification. I guess they're going to go to a rematch if there's a pay-per-view between now and WrestleMania, I suppose, maybe in Saudi Arabia. But good heat.
They're doing the Elimination Chamber over there, I think.
That's it, yeah. But I thought it was good heat on Reigns with the chair shots and beating Rollins down. It was something that if he wasn't going to win, he needed to do something. But the only other note I had was where is security? Usually when something like this happens, there's a bunch of referees and agents coming down, but I guess that wasn't in the script, my friend. What did you think of the opening contest?
I actually thought it was pretty good. I was kind of, going in beforehand, I was sort of weary of it. And, it is a match we've seen a lot of times, but I thought that the dynamic now between the two of them, the way that their characters have changed since the last time that we've seen them face off, that kind of added a fresh coat of paint to this matchup. I agree with you about the Shield entrance. I thought that was a nice way not only to do a callback that people would enjoy, because people do really like the Shield, but also to create a meaningful way that Seth Rollins might feasibly be able to get into Roman's head on the psychological level. Because I love matches that are cerebral in the way that they're kind of put together and the story that's told. And that's what it really felt like. It felt like the architect of the Shield, Seth Rollins, was kind of back in here strategizing. What can I do? What moves on the chessboard can I make to counter my former Shield brother, but also somebody who's now the biggest star in WWE and who's unstoppable at the moment? What is he going to do? So that was kind of the story that I, was kind of getting into throughout this thing. Agree with you about all the same spots. I thought the main spots of this match were all delivered expertly. I think Roman Reigns is one of the best people in the business at doing the near fall kick out. I can't see him looking at the ref, waiting for when the ref's hand comes down. I see that ref's hand get right down to the mat, and then Roman finally pops it up, just in the nick of time. He's one of the best at it. And I think that has so much to do with why his matches are exciting and interesting, because it keeps fans on the edge of their seat. Like, is this colossal star actually going to be beaten here? And you sort of buy into it as a fan just because of that timing, and the way that he sells. I don't think it's a match that I really want to see a rematch of, though. Like, I'll say that. I think that, I think I'm happy for him to leave it here. And then they can both move on to something else. But I thought this match was pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give it a C+. It was definitely better than I expected. And I thought that it was an example of a bit of a masterclass by two of the best talents in the WWE locker room.
Yeah, I was just surprised that I actually gave a shit about something Seth Rollins was doing. But you know what? I think maybe if you want to pop a little bit of a rating, put the rematch on TV. Put it in the main event.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch I don't watch the weekly show. I probably never will. But if you're gonna do it, yeah, if you want to pop a rating, then there you go. Like, we'll see where that goes. But anyway, yeah, and hopefully they tie off that loose end. But anyway, the next thing was the Women's Rumble. But I got to say this, man. I got to say this, and I've said it many times. There's too many fucking adverts. Too many fucking things in between matches. Like, thankfully, because I illegally downloaded the pay-per-view, I don't care, on extremewrestlingtorrents.net, I watched this after the pay-per-view had already aired and was uploaded to there. And thankfully, I have a little button, which is an arrow going in the right direction, where I can just keep tapping that and it's like I'm doing that forever, trying to get to the next fucking match. I don't know what they're doing, but fuck, man, it's a pay-per-view. Like, why do they have to plod along on a pay-per-view? Anyway, bro, it's time for the 30 Women Rumble. It's up for you now, right here, to take the floor, bro. What did you think of the Women's Rumble?
Well, I thought that the Women's Rumble ended up probably being more entertaining than the Men's Royal Rumble this year. I think that the fact that it was full of surprises, well, not really surprises, but it had a lot of like returning people we haven't seen in a while. It had a couple of surprises, some fun moments. I felt like that element was missing from the Men's Royal Rumble match that we saw later on. So I have to give credit to this match there. However, once all the returns and the surprises had kind of been knocked out of the match, I really felt like the match dragged once it got to the final, 5, 6, 5, 4 people. I just felt like it was plodding along at that point. It seemed like nobody in there really knew what they were doing. The Ronda Rousey return seemed to get a pop from the crowd. It did not pop me, not because I don't think Ronda Rousey's good, but I just think the outfit was wrong. She didn't have the outfit. She came in, she looked slow. She looked like she was gassed. She looked like she was a little bit lost. I don't know why the company threw her into that situation. If that's what they wanted to do with her, they needed to like walk her through things a bit more. It just didn't feel like, it was clicking on an actual like storytelling level. So I'm going to give it a C- though, because even if I thought that it was kind of meh overall, I did think that as I said, the returning people interacting with the current women's wrestlers, people getting a chance to sort of wrestle in the ring with people that are much more competent than the women maybe used to be in the ring back in their careers. So, you know, some of these people that never really got a chance to show off their wrestling back then because of the way the divas were booked, get an opportunity to kind of show a little something in the ring and do a little bit more with today's wrestlers. So I thought that really worked for me. Shout out to the Ivory return. You know, she looks great. She looks identical as before. You could tell she was having a blast doing her little promo and her little bit. And, you know, like Rhea Ripley, you know, you could tell she was having a blast with it as well. She was smiling through that whole thing. Yeah, you know, shame that it really fizzled out. I did not like the choice of Ronda Rousey winning, especially after actually how they got to it, like the way that they ended the match. Yeah, it's disappointing. It didn't really end up doing a lot for me. Other shout out though, also loved when Mighty Molly got creamed by Nikki ASH. Like, she's so jealous. She's so jealous of this like nice, accomplished Hall of Fame wrestler in her early 50s. Like, she just can't handle that people like Molly Holly and not her. So she's got to fucking slam her like as hard as she can into steps. So that was good. But anyway, that's pretty much the extent of my thoughts on the that one.
No, fair enough, bro. I do disagree on some points, but I agree on most of it. And I got a lot of notes here. And this is kind of like my running commentary, I guess, as the match was wearing on. So happy to see Melina. Really loved that she was number 2 and she had a little moment there. She looks fantastic. But man, I was a little bit annoyed. I would have let her stick in there for a little bit, at least hit a couple of moves. I wouldn't have had her get eliminated so easily by Sasha Banks. I mean, she's bigger than Sasha. I have just had a hard time believing that spot. So I was a bit disappointed. You know, she'd been waiting a long time to come back and do something like that, and to kind of just throw her out after 30 seconds or something. I was like, okay. Kelly did come out, and I was like, you know, I could take a leave. Kelly at this point, she's done the Rumble appearances several times now, and I think she's actually might have been in all of them so far. I just think, you know, that spot, yeah, Kelly's a name, but you could have maybe reached out to Candice Michelle or reached out to Oksana. Some other names,
actually,
because she was,
you know, I have to mention that Oksana and several other women were backstage. Perhaps they were brought in as alternates in case anyone got COVID, but yeah, they just were not used. So Oksana was actually backstage in the building.
Yeah, I would have preferred her over Kelly just because it's someone different, you know. I thought Sasha's elimination was great. But man, another thing that was annoying me, every time a theme song hit at the end of the counter, they shoot the crowd, not the entranceway. I've just found it annoying after a while because the music, everyone's theme song is so similar these days because, you know, we don't have the legendary Jim Johnston making people's theme songs anymore. So I don't know who, every time I hear a theme song, I don't know who it is unless it's like Randy Orton or whatever. I don't know these theme songs. Like, I want a shot of the entranceway, the screen saying the person's name. I don't want some random shot of the crowd because I want to see the name on the screen and then shoot the crowd for their reaction. I don't want to see their reaction before I even know who the fucking person is.
I don't want to see, like I want to get excited at the same time as the crowd gets excited. I want to see the person come out as the crowd pops to it so that I'm in that moment, you know, with everybody else that's seeing it.
Yeah,
so I agree with that.
Remember, like when Edge made his return, you don't need to shoot the entrance because you know it's his theme song. You know it's him. But with these theme songs, are just so a dime a dozen. They're all the same. Anyway, I'll keep going with my notes. Love seeing Michelle McCool. I wrote, Michelle, baby. I really, really like her, especially after the Undertaker documentary. I became much more attracted to her. Cameron made a surprise appearance. I wrote, fuck you.
I love Cameron.
Because I don't really like Cameron, but it's okay. It's someone different, so good for her.
She's hot, man.
I got to tell you something, bro. I never thought about this before. I've become extremely attracted to Sonya.
Yeah, she's actually very pretty, isn't she?
she's just in the gimmick that she's got going now. This like kind of boss lady kind of gimmick. I'm feeling like I want to be a bit of a simp for her, to be honest with you. But I thought her work was really good, and I was definitely into what she was doing there with the Naomi feud and fucking Cameron's shit up. So that was cool. Then Naomi eliminating her, and then Sonya eliminating Naomi. I like that. Now we can see that there's a story going forward with those two. Wow, what do you know? There's more than one storyline in the women's division going on right now. I don't know if you noticed this, bro, but Zelina Vega's hair looked fucked. I don't know what went wrong, if she had like some extensions in there, but she looked like Alice Cooper a couple of times. Like it was just,
maybe
it was it's all over the place.
Maybe there was an issue. I don't know.
Another thing, nobody should have a fucking jacket for a Rumble entrance, bro. Because they walk, I get it. You want to see the pomp and circumstance and all the pyro and ballyhoo, but it's a Rumble. Everyone should be just sprinting to the ring to get into the Rumble. No one should be, making the slow entrance and then taking their time taking the jacket off. And that's just,
except for certain people.
It was fine for Melina, I suppose, but like I think she had a hard time getting the jacket off. But Charlotte, Zelina Vega, etc. Biggest pop,
Charlotte could wear the jacket, because it's like part of the character. But
yeah, but like it's got to be a jacket that could be taken off very quickly. The biggest pop of the Rumble for me was hearing the Right to Censor theme song. I never thought I would pop for that theme song, bro. But Ivory comes out in that gimmick, and I'm thinking, man, I'd bring that gimmick back onto TV. I'd bring it back on. Even if she doesn't wrestle, she can manage one of the ladies or whatever, and they can have this kind of gimmick where they're, anti, what's going on with the women today, and maybe, not happy with the way that the women dress, or I don't know, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. But I just think that character could really work in 2022.
I think it would work.
Yeah, bro. And another thing that fucking worked, man, hearing hardcore country play and
that was cool.
hearing and seeing the crowd pop and seeing Mickey come out, and she's got the Impact Women's Championship. I'd never thought I would see that. I can't believe they let it happen. I thought they might just be like, no, we don't want the belt on TV. No, this was fantastic for Impact, fantastic for Mickey. I teared up a little bit. I don't know why. I just felt a little emotional for her, because this is something she deserves. She deserved to be given a platform, not just be another random name in the Rumble. She comes out, she cleans house, she looks good, she does well, and she lasts quite some time. So I was very, very proud of Mickey, because we've become quite big fans of her in her run as Impact Women's Champion and some of the stuff she's done with the NWA. Another note I had, bro, I don't know if you noticed this, but Liv Morgan botched 2 front flat bumps in the Rumble. I think twice someone tried to hit a flapjack on her. I just wrote, get it together, Liv. Like, you got to practice that front flat bump. You've got to practice it, man, because twice it looked fucking horrible. Another irritating thing for me, bro, people constantly going under the bottom rope to the outside. Enough. Yeah. Okay, one person maybe, not fucking several people. People coming out and they're not getting in the ring straight away and fucking around. Like, there should be a limit to the amount of time that you can fuck around on the outside. Yeah. Because if this was like a legitimate thing, like once you're at ringside, you should have 10 seconds to fucking get in the ring. You shouldn't be allowed to just fucking, because why not just fucking leave? Why not just walk off, go get some popcorn, and wait for there to be 2 more people to be in the match, and then you come back? No, there has to be a rule there. Another person who came out, Summer Rae. I don't know what's good. She doesn't even look like herself anymore. I'm not trying to shame her or anything like that, but she's got too much going on with her face at the moment. I don't even recognize her. I know what it's like for ladies when they get older, and maybe they feel a bit self-conscious about getting older, but she just looks like she's been stung by a bee or something. I had an allergic reaction. Sorry, if that sounds rude or whatever, but I just think it's a bit much. But she did what she did in the ring actually was quite good. I was quite impressed with that spin kick she hit on Natalia. Nikki Bella, the Bellas loved their work in this Rumble. I thought they really did a good job. It's always good for me. I like the Bellas. I love Nikki Bella. And I popped for Alicia Fox being eliminated by the Bellas after their little moment together. I thought that was funny. And I wrote, ha ha ha, suck shit, Alicia. But good to see her in there. She looks like she's ready to be back on the roster as far as I was concerned. I thought she wrestled quite well.
Yeah.
Again, another pop for me to see Sarah Logan. I thought that was a nice surprise. Leader, of course, that was great. I really hope it leads to something with her and Charlotte. I'd like to see those two have a match at some point. And I liked Leader eliminating Mickie James from the match because it kind of throws back to the fact that when Leader had her final match as women's champion, Mickie was the one that took the belt off her. So good to see her get revenge after all this time. And of course, as you alluded to earlier, Molly's entrance. And she's walking, it's Mighty Molly. She's so cute, man. She's so cute.
she's so likable and just charming.
It's like out of everyone in the wrestling business, that's the only person I think that not one person dislikes. I reckon at least one person might not really like, everyone else, but her 100% across the board, everyone loves her.
Yeah.
But
really awesome.
When Nikki ASH fucking yocked her, man, I was laughing so hard. Bro.
It was so funny, man.
These two women dressed as superheroes, and she's beating the fucking shit out of her and eliminates her. And I just thought that was a really great moment. I hope they maybe continue that on TV and give them a little match on TV. I'd be interested in seeing that.
Dude, she threw her really hard into them steps, very hard.
I did pop for Ronda. I was happy to be surprised. But yeah, you were right. She was a little awkward out there. I feel like she wasn't sure what to do in a Rumble. So someone should have ran through what she was going to do once she got out there, I think, beforehand. Of course, I always pop for Shotzi because she's my main bitch. Fucking love Shotzi. But of course, yes, I did enjoy the ending. I thought it was the right move to have Ronda win because if she didn't, then I kind of feel like her stock would have dropped a little bit. I think she needed a win, and I think she needs to go after Becky Lynch at WrestleMania and kind of continue on from where she left off before she got pregnant. Okay. Finally, we're out of my notes for the women's Rumble, but I really, really enjoyed the women's Rumble. And I think this is like the second or third time now that I've enjoyed the women's Rumble more than the men. Moving forward, bro, it's the women's championship match. It's Becky Lynch and Doudrop. I'll just get through my notes quickly because after watching a whole Rumble, bro, when I knew this was the next match, I was like, fuck, I don't know if I'm really that interested in seeing this right now because, a Rumble match is fucking long, bro. So it's really tough to follow a long Rumble. There was a cannonball to the outside into the stairs that I thought looked dumb and clumsy. I was much happier with the commentary here than I have been in the past. I actually was enjoying Corey Graves and Byron Saxton arguing so much. This match was just kind of there for me. We knew it was a foregone conclusion. We knew Doudrop wasn't going to win. And the manhandle slam off the second rope. I really liked that spot to finish off the match. But again, I just don't really know if this show needed that match. But, it was what it was. What did you think?
I also wasn't really necessarily that excited about it, but I actually thought it ended up turning into quite a physical match. Like the sentons that Doudrop laid in were really pretty stiff. There was some stiff strikes. I liked the fact that they actually tried and failed several times to hit their finishes on each other. It wasn't just like a let's kick out of each other's finisher fest. By the end of this, I actually thought it ended up becoming quite a decent match, even though I'm not a huge fan of Becky. But yeah, even though I went into it kind of feeling meh about it, I ended up being pleasantly surprised by it. So I'm going to give it a C+.
Very good, bro. The next matchup on the show was definitely your most anticipated match. I don't know of how many years you've been going on about this for weeks and weeks. So I'm going to let you take the floor here for this one. It's Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against Bobby Lashley. I don't know why it took them so long to get there to finally see these two lock horns, because this is a big fucking hoss fight right here, bro. Yeah. What did you think of your dream match here in 2022? Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, well, I mean, big fight feel for the match. The segments that when they've been building it feel like it's 2 stars in the ring, building towards an anticipated clash. You know, the hype package before the match that kind of detailed each guy's kind of backgrounds and history and their parallel careers and stuff like that. Brilliantly done. No one in the wrestling business can do television production like WWE. This package really set the stage for the sort of gladiatorial battle that we're about to see. Bobby comes out, Brock comes out, we get the Heyman introduction. The crowd seemed hotter for the Heyman ring introduction than they had done for anything else in the whole night so far. Like, the crowd was kind of flat generally throughout this show. You know, big long lockup in the center of the ring. You know, Bobby over Pat, we get a German suplex. Bobby stands up straight out of it, which Brock thinks is funny. You know, he returns one of his own, Brock, so it's kind of a tit for tat thing with the German suplexes. Eventually, the fists break out, the fighting breaks out. You know, it seems to be pretty even. Lesnar's really handling Bobby Lashley with some of them suplexes, dropping him hard on his neck and his shoulders. You know, turning point, Bobby goes to once again spear Brock through the barricade. Brock moves this time. Crucial thing about this match, right? You'll notice we talked about it day one, the previous event. Brock never actually got anything offensive in on Bobby Lashley when they interacted in that match. Now here in this match, Brock did not start manhandling Bobby until Bobby had gone through the guardrail. So it kept Bobby strong with that. You know, eventually Bobby gets Brock in the hurt lock. I thought he was actually going to tap at one point. At some point, the ref takes a bump due to an errant F5. At that point, Roman Reigns shows up. Crappy camera shot showing him run in. It once again had it on the crowd looking at the stage, trying to see who it was coming out. Reigns comes out, beckons to Heyman, like, give me something. Heyman passes him the title. It's like, oh shit. Heyman's still been in cahoots with Roman and the bloodline this entire time. Roman paced Brock Lesnar with the title belt. It was a really good belt shot. It looked like it fucking made some serious contact. You know, Bobby gets up, nails that fucking spear of his, and he actually pinned Brock Lesnar, and I was stunned. I was stunned that Bobby got the win. You know, yes, like, it wasn't a totally clean win because it was all setting up Lesnar versus Reigns and continuing their feud and their issue involving Heyman. But Bobby now has a win over Brock Lesnar, and that means they may go for a rematch. I really loved the match from a storytelling point of view, but I felt like it left a little to be desired from an in-ring point of view. I definitely think a rematch between these two needs to happen, because I think in a rematch, you know, it'll be better. Like, we'll start to see a lot more now that they've worked with each other a couple of times. So I would have liked to have seen it go a bit more to the mat. I would have liked to have seen a bit more sort of direct, them trying to kind of compete to show off, like, who's better, who's stronger. I didn't really feel like they did that. I just felt like it was a hoss fight, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, but I was hoping to see maybe a little bit more of the technical side in this particular match. But I still thought it was pretty good. It gave me exactly what I wanted. It surprised me with the ending because I thought it was a foregone conclusion that Bobby would lose. You know, he didn't. I thought that was excellent. That means we're going to get something for Bobby going into Mania, which is awesome for him. I'd probably give this match a B-. I really enjoyed it, but I want to see more of it.
Yeah, bro, definitely. And when I saw these two standing across from each other, I'm like, and I know I'll pick on them a lot, but nobody in AEW matches up to these two. This is legit right here. You know, these are two fucking stars right here. Again, why did this take so long to get to? I'm glad we finally got to it. Did you notice during the match that after a few of those German suplexes, Lashley was starting to bump them a little bit odd?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what
Looked
happened.
like
I don't. Maybe he wasn't enjoying the bump, or
yeah, it kind of looked like he was trying to avoid landing on his shoulders. He might have hurt his shoulder or something like that. So
yeah. That was anything that, you know, weird that I noticed, but everything else was awesome. You know, the story being told of Brock learning his lesson the first time after being speared through the barricade at day one. So I like these little nuggets of storytelling. Don't really have anything else much to say because I was so into the match that I didn't really write that many notes. But when the finish took place, you know, and I just thought that shot of Reigns, you know, asking Heyman for the belt and being handed the belt, that was fantastic storytelling. And just, wow, I could believe Bobby won. I was blown away that Bobby beat him.
yeah,
And
awesome.
I just wrote, this has been a great story with the whole Heyman thing and Lesnar coming back and what happened, you know, in Saudi Arabia last year. And I just thought it was really great how they pivoted at day one and had Lesnar win the belt, and now he's already lost it. And it's all been kind of, you know, meshing into this great story heading towards WrestleMania. If only the weekly TV show wasn't so shit, I'd be interested to see the story that they tell on TV going into Mania. But blown away, bro.
Yeah.
I really like the match. So, anyway, moving forward, bro, a match that I know that you weren't very hyped for. It's The Miz and Maryse taking on Edge and Beth Phoenix. I actually forgot that this match was going to be taking place until all of a sudden the video package aired, and I was like, oh, fuck, I thought the men's Rumble was coming next. God damn it, like another match to watch. But anyway, bro, I'll run through my notes quickly. I thought Maryse looked fucking sick in that outfit.
Beautiful.
Absolutely, bro. I like the spot at the beginning where Maryse was knocked off the ring apron onto the Miz, and she kind of landed on top of him. I know it wouldn't have made much sense, but I would have liked if Miz and her with her on top of him, if Miz like looked up and like nodded, like, you know, I thought they might have get a bit of a pop from the crowd, but you know, that would make sense at that point. They would have been annoyed that it happened. I thought Beth looked fantastic, and I thought she was ready. I think she's ready for another real run if she wants one.
I reckon.
You got a bunch of dream matches there that are waiting to happen. So I think that, you know, she did very good in this match. It was good back and forth. I thought Miz's face and facial expressions were so fucking funny when he had a showdown with Beth in the middle of the ring. When there was a skull-crushing finale after Maryse hit that tremendous head scissors on Edge, I thought that was the end. I actually thought that they were going to win.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah, but then in the end, Edge and Beth won the match with a double glam slam. I was surprised, bro, because I kind of thought after Edge beat Miz already at day one that maybe Miz might get his win back, but you know, I was surprised. So it wasn't a foregone conclusion. So that's nice.
Didn't Miz win at day one after hitting Edge with a brick and then hitting him with the...
No, Edge beat him. I'm positive. So what did you think of this one, bro?
Yeah, you know, surprisingly, it did not make me want to invert my anus with a rusty hook. You know, it was not as bad as I was thinking. It was very average, very stock standard mixed tag story. However, due to the people that were involved in it, the individual wrestlers who know a bit more about kind of the art of telling a story, there were several things that I really liked. Number one thing that I really enjoyed about it, the different partners actually interacted with people of the opposite gender. They didn't get physical, but they didn't really have to. You know, that what they did was each side kind of exploited the rules and tried to like look for opportunities to back their partner up. in ways that kind of made sense in the context of what was going on. I really liked the respect that was paid to Maryse, giving her a couple of moments to shine in the match. I thought that, she did great. She looked like she was having fun. The Miz looked like he had his working shoes on. It's why I feel like, I really want to see Miz doing some more substantial stuff in the ring at this stage of his career, because I really think that he's matured into a great wrestler. And I think it's time. I think it's time to think about giving him another like world title run, putting him back in that echelon. So yeah, this did not disappoint me the way that I thought. I actually ended up thinking it was quite charming. I really enjoyed just Miz and Maryse being smarmy, and I'm sure that they as a couple were enjoying that on a personal level. And I really love the fact that the match was finished with a double glam slam. Edge showing respect to his wife. Obviously, in his mind, she's a bigger star than he'll ever be, because it's his wife. And so I thought that was a really nice, charming little touch at the end to actually use Beth's finish to win the match. And I'm actually going to go ahead and give it a C-. I didn't think it was too bad. But yeah, I'm hoping that they wrap the program up though as well and move both these sides on to something else.
Yeah, man. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing one more at the Elimination Chamber event, but I'm sure they'll probably both be in the chamber, so who knows. But anyway, bro, we finally get to the main event of the evening. It's the Men's Royal Rumble. I'm going to let you take this one because I have a lot to say about it. So I'll let you go first before I go on one of my many well-known rants. So the Men's Rumble, once again, 2022. What did you think?
Okay, AJ Styles, entrant number 1. He was probably my favorite thing about this entire match going throughout, because he went a tremendously long time. I actually at one point was thinking that maybe they were going to book him to win or get right to the end, So I thought he looked tremendous. I thought Austin Theory, who entered at the number 3 position, also looked tremendous. Unfortunately, beyond that, there wasn't a ton else that I liked about the match. Everybody in this Men's Royal Rumble, it felt like they were nobodies. It just felt like they were cannon fodder to be thrown over the top rope. A third of the entrants that were announced in the match before the event that had aired were members of tag teams. Like, they put both members of the tag team in, it fills up 2 entry spots. I thought that it was just like, what's his name? Ridge Holland's coming out. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Rick Boogs is coming out. I'm going, who the fuck is that? Like, people are coming out. God, like, bro. Dude, hang on, man. Hang on.
Keep going.
You're going to get your tense, man.
I'm getting annoyed. That's all. I'm just getting annoyed. All right. Keep going.
Robert Roode comes out looking in the best shape that he's looked like he's been in his entire career. The Glorious theme song is gone. Just the little piano thing that gets people excited for the Glorious thing is there, but not the actual Glorious thing as well. He's had his nuts cut off as a character. He goes in there. He's in there for about 2.5 minutes. He gets tossed out nonchalantly, and the commentators barely even acknowledge it. Oh, there goes Robert Roode. He's only a fucking former TNA heavyweight champion. Main evented Bound for Glory with Kurt Angle. He's worked with Booker T, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, fucking Sting. Just about who's anybody in the business, and that's the way that he gets treated in this Royal Rumble match. No. Fuck you. That's one thing that really pissed me off. Number 2, no surprises or unexpected entrances throughout this whole thing. Entrant number 20 comes out. Entrant number 25 comes out. It's just the same fucking mid-card people that they constantly recycle the tag team titles on and off of, that they constantly recycle the IC title and the US title on and off of, because they don't give a fuck. And then there's 1 or 2 guys at any given time in the match that fucking clearly the company wants to position in a way that, they're the guys the company's behind. It doesn't matter what the crowd thinks or who the crowd's behind, because usually the people that the crowd are most interested in get tossed out like sacks of shit. Dominic Mysterio got nothing in this match. You could have used his athleticism and his natural likability, to get some heel heat or to give him a little moment to establish himself more. Rey Mysterio was fucking wasted in this match. Might as well have not even been in there. Austin Theory ends up being tossed out like a piece of crap after putting on a hell of a performance. He's one of the young guns of this company. I didn't like the way that he was tossed out. Guys like Sheamus, the veterans of this company, they go in there, they're kicking ass, they're professionals, they're holding this thing together. Nothing, they treated Sheamus like a jobber. It's at that point. There are guys like Happy Corbin, a guy that's actually doing great character-wise, comes out there. People are actually loving his shit. Once again, he's tossed out like an afterthought. You could say that basically about any and every elimination in the Men's Royal Rumble match this year. It was all just like, oh, so-and-so was tossed over the top. I kind of liked the Johnny Knoxville appearance. I like the fact that Wee Man and Preston were out there with him because Preston's my boy. I like the fact that Johnny actually got in there and took some shit. That frog splash was fucking nuts from Montez Ford. He's a tremendous athlete. He oozes charisma. I felt bad for his tag partner, Angelo Dawkins, who literally only got brought in there just to be fucking tossed back out. I can't remember who tossed him out. Excuse me. I need a sip of water here. Amos comes in, right? I thought that they actually did a decent job with Amos, but I also felt at the same time there was too many people around when Amos was in the match. There wasn't enough focus and attention put on Amos. They didn't do a spot where he threw out 5 or 6 people at once or anything like that. He just did a lot of the same typical big man power spots that he always does, and then he was shoving a few people over. I'm pretty sure he might have eliminated AJ Styles, or vice versa. It did seem like
AJ helped him be eliminated.
Yes, that's right. It did definitely seem like they were building towards another match between AJ and Omos. Maybe it seems like, after all, they aren't actually going to fucking blow it off like it was nothing. They are actually going to do a match with it and take it seriously. All right. Already covered a lot, but there's still more to talk about here, guys. There's lots of issues, lots of things going on. Why did I feel in this Men's Royal Rumble match, Carl, like I was waiting for Drew McIntyre to just enter the match, like I was waiting for Brock Lesnar to show up and enter the match, like it seemed like the 3 biggest names that were even in the match, like Big E, former WWE champion, tossed out like a pile of shit. I thought that things kind of heated up towards the end when we ended up with like Lesnar and Riddle and Orton and McIntyre. I thought that at that point, we've got the real professionals in here. We've got Brock and Drew in here. We've got Randy Orton in here. There are some guys that really know what they're fucking doing. Now this is not totally terrible. But honestly, I liked that Brock won because it was at least somebody badass finally coming in and actually injecting a bit of fucking life into the match. No fucking legend appearances. No fucking unexpected. Oh, actually, there's one other real positive I want to point out. And anyone that doesn't disagree with me, send your hate tweets to @JuicyBoy. Suck my dick if you don't, though. Bad Bunny, credit to him. I really think that he looked tremendous. It was obvious that he'd actually been in a ring training before he made this appearance at the Rumble. I thought that the stuff that he did at WrestleMania looked great for a celebrity. And I think also that he really did quite well for himself in this match here, especially considering that he's a celebrity, that he's a smaller guy, that, he's not a full-time wrestler or anything. I wanted to shout that out because it actually really looked like he knew what he was doing. There were several times where if you looked closely, you could see Bad Bunny actually clinging to the ropes, like to hold himself in place and stuff like that. He is such a big fan of wrestling. You actually could tell that he was thinking about, what would I actually be doing if this was real and I was trying to win it. So I wanted to take a little detour there to just shout him out, and also the talents that worked with him. I thought that all came off really well. But as far as when Brock finally won the match, as I said, it finally injected a little oomph into it. But even then, I was still just disappointed and just meh at the end of it. The crowd was sitting on their hands. I didn't see him getting really that excited. I don't think it was because people didn't like Brock. I think people are still loving Brock, and I think they're happy that he won. But I think the actual match, Kofi Kingston went to do his gravity-defying spot this year. He's getting older. He didn't make it for the first time this year, He got thrown out of there. I think he might have been, perhaps the opponent threw him a bit too hard, forcefully, off the ring apron. He tried to cling onto the guardrail, do a bit of a Spider-Man thing, but instead his feet just planted straight into the ground as he hit the guardrail. And I felt bad for him. I really did. He looked upset when he realized that he was called eliminated, and that was a shame. So honestly, Borsville population, this match, this is getting a D-. It's lucky it's not getting an F. It didn't drive me into blood boiling territory because it wasn't good or bad enough to be interesting enough to make me have a reaction that was that strong one way or another. So D-. I actually have to go for a wee, man. I know you're going to do your rant and shit, so I want to give you time to say it. I need to just take a pedal.
Right now I have to fucking edit this thing. Okay, bro, now you've got back from your urination. Time for me to dig into the men's rumble and my thoughts on it and my running commentary throughout it. Apparently the 30-man rumble was produced by Adam Pearce, Davari, Jamie Noble, and Chris Park. So I hope next year whoever produces it is not any of them, because after seeing the women's rumble and seeing what they did with that rumble, how can you have that within the same show as this rumble and not think that it's a little weird and ridiculous that the women's rumble had so many surprises, yet in the men's one there weren't opportunities for surprise appearances for anyone? Like, if this were real, you'd think they'd at least have a few fucking wild card spots for random people to show up for it. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. AJ came out first, and immediately when Nakamura was number 2, I was like, I don't care, because I know he's not going to win. And I was already in a bad mood, really, because I was I don't know. He came out, and I was like, okay, so it's number 1, number 2. They main event of WrestleMania a few years back or whatever, cool. Then Austin Theory came out. Okay, he's been doing the Vince McMahon thing. But then as it's wearing on early on in this match, I'm like, yeah, okay, Robert Roode comes out, and it's just making me think, man, I just hate when there's so many people in the Rumble that won't win. And if there are people in the Rumble that won't win, then replace them with a legend. Replace them with someone, if it's going to be someone who's not going to win, and we know they're not going to win, at least make it be somebody that we're going to pop for. Because these are just bodies out there to be thrown out. I thought it was cool that there was a TNA chant when Roode and AJ squared off. But then Ridge Holland came out, and I went, how generic is this guy? I mean, no offense to him, but I don't care. I don't know him. I don't care. And this reminded me of a rumble that happened a while back where I was like, what the fuck are they doing? At least, bro, they've learned their lesson and they stopped bringing in fucking NXT people for no one in the crowd fucking knows who they are. No one at home knows who they are, because not everybody watches both products. So thankfully they learned their lesson with that, when you have that fucking horrible rumble with Jack Gallagher and Pete Dunne and all those guys popping in.
Oh,
it's like,
you can't, terrible year.
But you don't replace the fucking pop for the legends with NXT people. Fuck off. So at least they fucking learned their lesson for that. But then in comes Damian Priest. Boring. Okay, Sami Zayn. Okay, it's a little bit better. But Johnny Knoxville's coming out next.
Yeah, I know, but
it's supposed to be a random draw. What are the odds that the guy he's been feuding with is next? I understand that. Yes, this is wrestling and it's not real, and of course it had to be.
Well, I actually should mention something, because I've been watching the program between Knoxville and Sami Zayn on TV because I've been enjoying it, and it seems like what they've been doing is that somehow Johnny Knoxville has access or some sort of inside track with someone in WWE, which is like feeding into Sammy's whole conspiracy thing, because few weeks ago on SmackDown, Johnny came out, confronted Sammy, ended up dumping him over the top rope after Sammy had just jobbed in a match. It was pretty funny. Immediately after he dumped Sammy over the top, the ring announcer goes, Johnny Knoxville is now in the Royal Rumble match. Like, just like that. So I just think it was just Johnny actually orchestrated himself to follow Sami Zayn in there somehow. That's the way I read it based on having watched it. Anyway.
Very good, bro. Very good. You told me off for interrupting you. So from here on, you're not to say one more word until I'm done. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. So Johnny Knoxville, yeah, that whole thing was great. I really enjoyed the whole thing that took place. You know, it wasn't going to last much longer, but it was just cool. Everyone loves Johnny Knoxville, but it just kept on cranking, bro. And I was getting fucking more and more pissed off as this thing went on. Next rant, bro. No more tag team members in a Rumble ever again. If I was in charge of the company, no more fucking tag teams go in the Royal Rumble. None. If you want to fucking have them do something, put them on a pre-show for a 10 team fucking Rumble. Who gives a fuck? Why not? Because they had a fucking hour-long pre-show with no fucking matches that I downloaded as well. And I'm like, what was the point of that? Just to see people sit around a desk talk about fake wrestling. It's so stupid, the pre-show. If you're going to have tag teams and you want them to be a part of the Rumble, let them have their own little Rumble. 10 teams. If you don't have 10 teams, bring in the fucking Headbangers. Bring in Kai and Tai. I don't fucking care. Bring in the Basham Brothers. I don't care. You know, do something with them. Don't just have them be bodies in the fucking Rumble, because we know that they're not going to win. Yeah. We know these guys aren't going to win. We know that the fucking Street Profits aren't going to fucking do shit. You know, and this is all these guys coming out. Gable. You know, I like Chad Gable. Come on, man. We know. We know he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like he actually performed well.
He did well, bro. Almost. Okay, cool. That's a name. That's someone that was interesting to see enter. Okay, very nice. Dominic comes in. And I'm like, fuck me, man. Like, I like Dominic Mysterio, but do we really need Dominic Mysterio in the fucking Rumble? Do we really need that? You know, okay, a bunch of them got Omos out of there. Cool. AJ helped with that. Okay, that's fine. But then it just kept on cranking, bro. Happy Corbin. You know, he's cool, but, you know, he's not going to win either. And I was like, fuck you. Ziggler was next, you know, or one of the next ones. I love him, but fuck, man. You know, Sheamus. We know he's not going to win. Rick Boogs, fuck off. Madcap Moss. And I was just like, this is fucking moronic. None of these guys needed to be in here. You know, if you took out fucking Alpha Academy and the Street Profits, 4 people that didn't need to be in the fucking match. 4 people. And you could have bring in Schnitzky, bro. Bring in Gangrel. Bring in there's so many fucking Ken Shamrock. There's so many fucking people you can bring in that will get a fucking wicked pop, you know, but not the same people that you see all the fucking time. But you see how the Women's Rumble goes. You have all these surprises and these pops, and then you have all these fucking tag team wrestlers. It made me realize how fucking thin the male roster can be at times, especially when you have all your title holders, you know, obviously not in the match. You know, and by that point, I was so fucked off with this Rumble. You know, Riddle again, whatever. Drew, okay, that was a nice surprise, I suppose, but you know, he was only taken out fucking less than a month ago. Owens comes out, and I just wrote, this is a lame Rumble, because I know that we're wearing on in the proceedings now. I know that there's not many spots remaining in those last 10, 5 to 10. You know that they're not going to really fill them with too many surprises. You need to get that shit out of the way early on. So all of these tag teams, the Dirty Dogs, all of them, none. I will fucking get all of them out of there, and I would fucking, thank God the Usos went in this thing. I would got them all out of there, and I would have put in surprises or just something different. It kept rolling on. Mysterio, Ray came out. Whatever, Kingston, you know, and then I wrote, we still got Orton, Big E to come. Like, I know we're not getting any surprises. You can't do a Rumble without at least a couple of surprises. Every year, there has to be. Otherwise, don't fucking bother, as far as I'm concerned, because it's so fucking boring watching these guys who have no chance of headlining WrestleMania, fraudulently go out there and look like they're going to try and win it. Bullshit. When Kingston fucked up the spot, you know what? I feel bad for him, but I also wrote suck shit. Not to him, but to the company for doing the same fucking thing every fucking year. We get it, man. For 14 years, he's been doing the Rumble, and I guess for the last 10, he's been doing these magical, miraculous, avoiding of elimination. I am over it. I am done with it. Okay, he's no longer a fucking a side actor or some guy randomly in the mid card. We get it. He's athletic. Do something different with him. He's a former world champion. Yeah. Fucking over it, man. Like we're done with this now. Okay, it blows my mind. Okay, and there was such high risk for that one to fuck up, and it did fuck up, and it was a massive letdown for everyone. When Otis came out at number 25, I wrote, "Are you fucking kidding me? Go and get fucked." We did not need Otis in at that late stage. Fuck, man. I was just so fucking angry. Geez, what did I say to Luke earlier of who could have been in there? I had a couple of names. I mentioned Shamrock. That would have been a nice one. Schnitsky would have been, that would have got a pop. Fuck, man. X-Pac, Al Snow. There's so many names you can fucking bring into this thing. Anyway, X-Pac I really would have thought would have been an idea. Big E comes at 26, and I'm just like, I'm so fucking over this lame Rumble. And although you were happy with it, when Bad Bunny came out at whatever it was, 27 or whatever, I was just like, fuck you. Like, we already saw him do this thing at WrestleMania. We already saw what he can do. What is the point in bringing him out to do the same thing he did before? We've already seen him do it. We already have one celebrity appearance. One. You don't need two. You don't need him eliminating Sheamus. I don't fucking give a fuck, man. I fucking hated it. I thought it was so fucking demeaning having him dominate wrestlers in the ring. Like, fuck off, man. Look at the size of him. Shane. When Shane came out, I was like, finally, someone that was like, a bit different, like something that's a bit more of a surprise that got me a little excited. Okay, that was fine. But man, like, I called it. When I got to 29, it's like, it's Orton. Orton's theme played. Knew it was going to be him. And at that point, I'm like, Lesnar's coming out at 30. He's eliminating everyone, and he's winning the Rumble. So at this point now, I know it's a foregone conclusion because you've got no one in this match that you actually think could win this thing. Yeah. And look, I understand that they want to get to Reigns and Lesnar at Mania, but Lashley we don't know what he's doing at Mania. Maybe they should have thought ahead of time, okay, we know we want to do Reigns and Lesnar at Mania. Maybe we can get there a different route instead of having a foregone conclusion when Lesnar comes out because everyone in the ring. You know that they're not going to challenge Reigns at WrestleMania. You know that already. So to me, it's just it insults my intelligence as a wrestling fan. So you could have just not have Lesnar in it, gone a different route, and figured out someone that you might not really expect to win the Rumble, maybe wins the Rumble. I don't know. I would have much rather that, I think, despite the fact I did like what Lesnar did when he came out. Big E goes out like he's nothing. Otis goes out, fuck you. It came down to McIntyre and Lesnar. We knew McIntyre was going to win. Lesnar eliminates him. And also I was very happy when Lesnar got rid of Bad Bunny as well. So Brock wins. We all saw it coming. Very disappointing end to a show that I thought for the most part was pretty good. They just need you got to think a little, You
gotta be prepared.
You gotta be prepared. You gotta they should know what they're doing at the Rumble, like fucking months out,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They've got all those fucking riders. What do they all do all day? Like,
I was just fucking so annoyed with it, bro. And yeah, I've gone on pretty long there, but that's all I've really got to say. The men's Rumble for me was one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Again, to reiterate, Never have any more tag team partners or tag team members in the Royal Rumble. Give them their own little one on the pre-show or even on fucking Raw or something the week of or something like that. We don't need them in there. It's so stupid. Like maybe one tag team would be fine, but not like fucking 4 or 5. It's just way over the top.
I think
That's
we,
like 20 positions almost taken up.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, back in the early 90s, there'd be a hype package with like the 10 most likely winners of the Rumble. That's a third of the entry roster of the Rumble is like positioned that they could actually win it credibly. Now they don't even do that anymore. Like, I would rather watch legends or people I haven't seen in 10 years be used as elimination fodder than mid-carders or tag team wrestlers. Yep. I really would. Every single year for like the last 5 years, I watch that clock countdown, 3, 2, 1, the crowd's chanting along with it, and then it's a fucking annoying, like, oh, there's only 30 spots and they're wasting an entry on this person. It's not somebody
it's Jey Uso. Like, we know he's not winning.
Stop it. Yeah, stop doing it.
It's got to be done.
Like this year was the worst case of it ever, man. Was like the worst case of it. It felt lazy. It felt like, oh, we'll just throw a Bad Bunny in because like we need someone else to throw in other than Knoxville. So let's do it.
Unbelievable, bro. When you have that many surprise entrances for the women, like more than they actually had more than what was probably necessary. Like I loved all of them, but you probably didn't need like 4. But the men, they did the complete opposite. Just so fucked off, bro.
Plodding, boring, fucking like felt like it was going on for fucking 3 times as long as it probably did.
Yeah. Anyway, bro, that's the end of the review. Give us your final rating out of 10.
Final rating out of 10, it's getting a 5. It really ended up pissing me off with the way that the men's Rumble went, and just all around, I didn't feel like last year when Edge won the match. Like I really felt like they went out of their way to make that a big extravaganza of a show, and I felt like this year, with the exception of Bobby versus Brock and the Roman Reigns stuff, I felt like they didn't do that. So 5.
Yeah, cool, bro. I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10 just because everything else on the show was actually pretty decent. It was just the men's Rumble that really fucking put a dent in this thing for me. They need to go back to the drawing board with this men's Rumble. Back in the day, you had Austin, Rock, Kane, Undertaker, Triple H, Kurt Angle. Like you had a plethora of all these guys, and I just think things seem really thin right now. If you take up that top layer of guys for the title matches in the Rumble pay-per-view. I just
you know what the problem is, man, with their roster depth, man? They've got their tag team guys filling in for their mid card. They've got their mid card guys filling in, their upper card, and then they've got their main eventers, which are above that glass ceiling that the other guys can't break. And it's just like, it just doesn't feel like in 2001 it was a star-studded Rumble. Like, 2002, Austin, Rock, Angle, fucking Triple H, Mr. Perfect, fucking Undertaker.
Ed.
I don't expect the talents of today to be the same talents as back in those times, but I want them to be as big as the talents from those times, and that's just missing. There's no grandeur to it,
Yeah, there doesn't. It just feels like there's no one that's in that echelon just underneath the main event that are ready to break in. You know what I mean? So it just, back in the day, you would have your Ortons and your Batistas and Cenas and all that. They were just on the verge of breaking through, and you never know, they might win the fucking thing. But now it just feels like, geez, even those people that aren't really doing the main events right now, like a Randy Orton, when he's not going to win the fucking thing at this point. But anyway, bro, that's all there is to it. That was our review of the Royal Rumble. Let everyone know out there where they can find you.
Yeah, you can fucking find me on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. And of course, at the WZWA Network, which you are watching right now, my handle on all social media platforms is at JooseyBoy. And that spelling, just in case you didn't know, is JOOSEYBOY. And I'll see you folks on social media. The Royal Rumble this year was shit.
Yeah, I'm Karlifornia. You can find me at Karlifornia WZWA. That's KARLIFORNIA WZWA on Twitter. Obviously, the WZWA Network. Find us everywhere, any platform. Type it in WZWA Network, and you will find us there. A lot of good shit going on our YouTube in the next few weeks. And of course, once again, IRC chat. If you go to the Rizon Network, RIZON. Rizon.net, or if you use MIRC, you can go into the Rizon Network and find a room called #ProWrestling. Awesome bunch of people in there to connect with about pro wrestling. I'm telling you, got to hop in there. It's really fun. So thank you again, Juicy Boy.
Yeah, no fucking worries, mate.
And I will see you next time, bro. And everyone out there, thank you for joining us for the Royal Rumble review. And we will see you down the fucking road.